Okay, hi. Um, so I just wanted to go through quickly with you just to shore up some knowledge around shotgun and putting work and linking work correctly into shotgun. So this page, this is the overview page that you'll be looking at. And I hope you guys don't mind my cheery daughter practicing her flute in the background. So this is the overview page that you've got. This is the stream where all the latest things appear so everyone can see what activity is happening in the project. But you're going to spend most of your time in the media page, okay? So I've simplified the media page a little bit, and I've just made the target search area, the target things that you're looking at, shots, rather than sequences and shots, okay? So this is where um, versions of media will be that are linked to shots. That's what you're looking for. And this has been arranged in a hierarchy, the data, um, based on um, episodes. And episodes are what we define, how we define assignments. Then inside the assignments, we divide it up into class groups. And then inside the class groups, we were divided up individual students and or groups if you're working in pairs and things like that. So what we see at the top here is an episode, for example, character design. Inside character design, we're seeing a sequence, for example, maths class. That's this. And then inside maths class, each person has their own area or work area to put their own work. Okay, so it functions a little bit like a hierarchy. If I click on maths class, I do see all of the things that are linked to all of the children inside here. I also see things that might be linked directly to the class. And I'm going to explain later why I really kind of don't want you to do that, but it's there anyway and it's possible. Um, and we're going to do this by way of example. So what we're seeing here is the thumbnail view of all of the versions. Remember, we create versions when you upload media. And the way that I want you to do it to create new versions is not to drag and drop straight onto this screen, please. I'd like you to use this new version widget, and it creates this dialog. Okay. Now the reason I want you to do that is I want you to put in a description of what it is you're uploading. And if you just drag it into here, then you don't do that. Okay, or it just gets a version name based on the name of the media, and that's it. And I want more than that from you guys. So, for example, I've opened this dialog. Let's close this dialog for a second. Let's work out. First, you're going to work out where you're going to put this stuff. So you choose a context for where you're going to upload new versions to. Okay, I'm going to use Jerry as a target. Okay, he's going to be my guinea pig. Jerry, I hope you don't mind. I can see you've got some lovely work all uploaded here, which is fantastic. So I'm going to click on Jerry's task 1 shot here, and I'm going to create a new version. Okay, and I'm going to put in the version name, I'm going to call it test by Matt to delete. Okay, and I'm just going to say this is a demo test only, not work. Okay, and now that I've got this choose file dialog, okay, you can do your drag and droppy thing here if you really want to be the drag and droppy thing, or you can use the file dialog and go and look for things. But let's do the drag and droppy thing because students are very popular and they like to do that sort of thing. So I've got my drag and see that little choose file thing. I can grab a picture. Let's see, there's a Clone Wars picture, yay, and I can drag it onto that. When you can drag it onto a target in Shotgun, you'll get a blue rectangle around things. So I can drop that one there, and you can see I've got that picture now. That's the file that's going to be, this version is going to get created in Jerry's shot. it's going to be linked to Jerry's shot, and it's got that image. And if I just say create version now, it's uploaded it. It's only a still image. It's going to be very quick. And we're looking in Jerry's page here. We may need to refresh that page. Probably do need to refresh that page. And there you can see that there's the image that I've just uploaded, okay? Okay, so in this page, we're looking at it in thumbnails. I told you there's another way to look at it with list view, where you can see a bit more information, default information that's displayed in here. The link is the reason that it's in Jerry's shot. Only media that has been linked to Jerry's shot here, Jerry's task, appears in this list. So that seems to be clear. All these things are linked to Jerry's shot. It tells we've got information like when it was made, who it was created by. You can see that I created that one. Jerry's created all of these others. And there's a whole bunch of other information. You can see things about which playlists media might be involved with. You can see where the description is. That's where I filled out that description. And you can add more of the metadata in here. A lot of it's turned off as you need, okay? All sorts of things. But we'll leave that at the moment. I don't need to see more than that. And I'm going to go back to the thumbnail view. Now, in this thumbnail view, which I kind of like, you may or may not have these 2 extra lines in your version. These are fields that you only get 2 of them in the thumbnail view because you can see lots of media in the list view. So in the thumbnail view, you can expose 2 fields of metadata. If you go into more, come down to fields, you can set what field 1 is going to show you. At the moment, it's showing me the link. And you can set what field 2 is showing you. Now, field 2 is showing me something that's buried down a little bit here. If I go to created by in person and go to their alias, so that's your preferred name, whoever uploaded it. And you can see now I'm getting Matt is my preferred name, is my alias. Jerry's got his there, it's as opposed to your full name, okay? If I wanted to change that to be something else, I could go to field number 2, and I might set it to be date created. Okay, so now that information is date created. So it's pretty easy. You can show 2 things here, and it's useful. I'm interested in seeing that it's linked properly. I'm interested in seeing who uploaded it. So I'm just going to put that second field back to, go down to fields, and we find like the children of that. We can look further, created by person, and then person alias. So you can see that there's lots of information that you can reveal about a piece of media. Actually, I'm going to change, you know what, I'm going to change that. No, I'm going to leave that link like that for now. Sometimes it's useful to see the date that things were created as well in here. Okay, so we've got this this piece of media now, and it's showing up in Jerry's lot because it's been linked to Jerry's shot. Okay, so what happens if we move it? So the way to relink something in here, remember we've got our blue targets and drag and drop kind of works in the interface. If I grab it and I drag it over to here, I can link it to any one of these blue rectangles. So I'm going to move it from Jerry to Jasmine. Okay, now this is Jerry's work and it ain't there anymore because it's not linked to Jerry's. But if I go to look at Jasmine's work, oh, there it is there now. So it's been linked to Jasmine's shot. I can put it back to Jerry's. And we can see now it's back in Jerry's shot and it's not in Jasmine's. Okay, so kind of fun stuff. That's how you link things and move them around from place to place. So what happens I'm going to edit this now. What happens if it doesn't have a link? So I'm going to edit this piece of media. I'm going to edit the link, and I'm not going to fill anything in there, which means that's the same as removing the link. Okay, now watch what happens. It's gone. It's gone from Jerry's. Where's it gone to? Well, it hasn't gone to Jasmine's. Has it gone to Matt's? To the top level, to the class level? And no, it actually hasn't. That's a duplicate of the same thing that I did before. And just to prove that, I'm going to edit this one and remove its link as well. Okay, and now it's not there either. So I'll show you where they go. If a version hasn't got a link, and we really want all versions to have a link to something meaningful, they go into this. There's a little hierarchy here called shots with no sequence. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. We've got shots with no sequence, and we've got media in there as well. Well, I can go and fix that in a second, but let's just go into this shots with no sequence, and we'll find things in here that don't look under this link column, that don't have a link. So people have been managing to get stuff into Shotgun with no link. And there's a couple of different ways to do that I'll show you in a second. But let me show you how to repair it, how to fix things up, or to give them that link again. I mean, you're guessing, right? So there's those two things that I put up with no link. So I'm going to click on both of them, and I'm just going to drag them back into a target. The blue rectangle shows me what I can link it to. I'm going to link it just to character Matt. Okay, so now they're gone here from this shots with no sequence. This is only things that don't have a link. And if I go back to Matt at the sequence level now, you can see that they're in here. Now look what they're linked to though. See, they're linked to the character Matt, which is the sequence. Okay. They're not linked to any of these shots underneath, which have all got this T1 and students' names in them. Not there. It's linked to the top. Okay. All right. So what I'd like everyone to do is to go into this shots with no sequence occasionally and go looking for your stuff, because some of you students have put work in here and you're thinking that you've put it in the right spot and it's actually not anywhere. So no one's going to find it in there. Okay. Actually, we probably will have a look, because knowing that people make mistakes, you know. So, for example, Samuel, I can see Samuel Zhang has put in his assignment work in here. So he probably doesn't want it to be unlinked. Probably wants that to be somewhere important so people can see it. It's not in a playlist. It's not in a link. Sam, no one's going to find that. So you need to link that back to whatever class group you're in. And I don't know which class group you're in. I'll have a little quick look here and see if I can see you. And I can't see you. So it could be that the reason you put them in here is that you don't have a shot made. Okay, so if you find that you're in that situation too and you haven't got a shot made, please contact your tutor and ask them to make you a shot for your task so you've got somewhere to put your work. Okay, everyone should have one of these if you're in that class. You need to have somewhere to put your work. Your tutor can make it for you. It takes just a second to do. And then you can stick your stuff in the right spot. Okay. I'm going to guess that Sam's in Deb's PM class here. Okay, so Sam, what you can do is if you don't have a shot just now, you're going to contact your tutor and get one made. I'm wondering if that is you. Okay, so in the meantime, what we can do, if you haven't got one, you can do this. You can drop it into the class level. Okay, and that'll get it out of here. So now it has a link, but it's linked to the class. Okay, so that's not terrible, but it's not in your spot. Now, I need to figure out if Samuel is Schwan, and I could be completely wrong about that. So I am completely wrong about that. I can see some weird stuff going on here. If I am jumping in here to this student's work as well, I can see that someone else is putting work in theirs. So, Wenlin, please don't do that. Please put that work into your area. And if this is world building, I have no idea why that's going into task 1. Okay, so everything needs to go into its right spot. All right, so how do things get created without a link? Well, one of the common ways is to, if you're trying to add something to your playlist, for marking, so for example, if you want to pull up one of the playlists for marking, can you see that it's got a new version thing button here? So what can happen is that students you can just drag stuff into the playlist, and that's going to work. It's going to upload media and make it look like you've done the right thing, but it will never have linked it to any of the shots that you own. So that's an excellent way and a very common way that people make the mistake of uploading media and not linking it back to their own work. So the best way to approach work is to upload it into your shot. Okay. So upload it into, this is Alyssa's task. So she's got all of her work. You can see it's all linked to her shot. So upload work in that area. That's where you create your new versions. Like that. And then if you wanted to put them in playlists, once they're created in the shot, you can add them to a playlist. So for example, if I just make a new playlist here temporarily, I'm going to make a quick playlist. Come on. Recent, sorry, I better show my recent. I just made 3 playlists right there. Let's just delete those. Sometimes you got to open these menus. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new playlist. It's right there. It puts the date on it. And if I wanted to drop, remember these are all in Alyssa's work. Okay, if I wanted to quickly just drop something in there, so there's one of Alyssa's, and maybe this one as well. Okay, and then I might go back to, I want to see April's, and these ones of April's. So I've got April's work here, and I could drop that into that playlist as well. And a bit of research notes. And you can drop anything into a playlist. It's like an arbitrary collection of things. And you can see that we've got this collection of stuff. It is possible, and like I said, to just grab a piece of media. Let's see what this is. There we go. So, Clone Wars building in Singapore. I just drag that in there. It'll do it. It adds it to the playlist. But look, there's no link. So it's not connected to anything meaningful. That's the problem. So this piece of media that we've got in there, if I go back to browsing, it's not going to be, it's in that playlist, but it's not connected to any of these things, and therefore it will probably be in shots with no sequences. And there we find it. So there we have a beautiful picture of the building that LucasArts Clone Wars show used to be in, up there on the 5th floor, but it's not connected to any media because it hasn't got a link. Okay. So I'd leave you with this challenge. Please, if you can go through, you people that can see your work here that's not linked, can you go and link it back into where it's supposed to be? It would be really good if you get into the habit of putting descriptions in. So when you do upload media, okay, when you upload media, you're using this dialog, you are filling out description, and you can see, because I picked Alyssa there and said new media, the link has already been pre-filled. Okay? So that's the best way to be adding things. That's kind of it. I remember this hierarchy over here is episodes. So episodes are assignments, then class groups, sequences, and then inside that is shots. Now in these character work, everyone's got their own individual spot for the shots. But when we get to sightings, it'll be groups of 4. So that'll be the name of your group in sightings. So we'll have sightings, we'll have the class group, and there's nothing in there at the moment. So, but we'll make groups a spot for each one of the groups to put their work. All right, look, I hope that explained a little bit of something. We looked at a little bit of the interface here. We looked at what the metadata is. We talked about dragging and linking and what linking is. That this is a hierarchy. This is an arbitrary hierarchy of episodes, sequence, and shots. And these are versions, and they can be linked to anything. So you can put them anywhere inside this hierarchy over here. And if they don't have a link, they all end up in this big puddle here where there is no link. Okay? So I hope that helps a bit.